He's done 44,000 in sales the last 30 days, primarily selling diarrhea medication and supposedly lube and a lot of other things. We're going to get into how he finds his product. He started with books, I believe, if I'm not wrong, looking at your Instagram, you were a lot of books starting out, and now you're more other products. And you had a pretty cool YouTube series coming up about starting from nothing and trading in plastic bottles to get some change and then turn that into Amazon money. But welcome to the podcast, brother. Amazon Savage.
Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast. Hear the stories of Amazon sellers crushing it in the game and keep up with the latest strategies that are working. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you truly try and work really hard, you will make a ridiculous amount of money selling on Amazon.
And that's what Patty's done. Patty's World FBA. I've seen him on Instagram the last year, posting heavy. He's consistent with the content. Obviously, he's consistent with his Amazon efforts. And yeah, welcome to the pod, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
100%. Give us a little backstory about how you got started and how, like, 44,000 in sales. Honestly, dude, I thought you might have been like at 10,000 in sales or less, but 44,000, holy shit, you're crushing it.
Oh yeah. It's growing pretty fast. I don't take money out, so that's kind of how I'm being able to grow it. But I guess my whole life, I've been buying and selling stuff. So I got introduced to auctions at a very young age, like 6 kind of thing. So that's been my main source of income, is buying, selling. I mean, I've done pretty much anything you can think of to make money. When I was younger, I watched the movie Jackass, and then I thought it would be a good idea to get people to throw tennis balls at me for a quarter. And we made a quarter. I have bought and sold stuff at school. So in school, I was selling beef jerky, water, video games, anything, everything. Had a lawn care company, had 2 clients, didn't do anything with that. I've sold insurance, investments. We did Amway for a bit, which was, overpriced stuff. Yeah. And then what else? I've done so much. Candle business, we tried that. I actually sold Amazon in 2013.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of stuff at an auction. It was a theft recovery. They shut down this massive, like, $250,000 theft ring of DVDs. I just started throwing them on Amazon. And then I just stopped replying to my solds, stopped replying to messages because I was in school. And yeah, so I regret that. And then I saw a video last year, Amazon seller, and I'm like, man, I should do that. And then I started, it would have been November last year. So
do you remember whose video you were watching?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I screenshot it and everything. Yeah. It was Rank and Profit.
Nice.
He was scanning books, and it was like in June or something, and I screenshotted it. And I work full-time construction. So it's like 6 days a week, 60 plus hours. And I kind of put it on the back burner until it was like late October. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to do it. And I just did it. I watched one of the videos, and then I just started buying stuff.
So what did you do? You downloaded Scout IQ, Scoutly?
Oh, so in Canada, we don't have like Scout IQ. Like, I don't get that fancy stuff. So what I was doing was using my Amazon seller app.
Just like Mama Profit.
Yeah, literally just scanning it, looking for sales rank and profit. That's it.
Yeah.
And like, it was November, so it was like Q4. I was buying some used video games and books, and that's it. Just Amazon app. But since then I've got a few programs that I use, and it has helped a lot. But I still use my Amazon app for books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you get up to in sales with just going to thrift stores and stuff?
Oh God. I want to say, so I kind of went in really, really fast, really hard. When I first started, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. And then I just started spending all my money. I placed 2 wholesale orders my first week just so I could get ungates. So I kind of just jumped right in. I mean, with thrift stores, I can't really put a number on it, but I know my first month was basically thrift stores, and it was probably I think it was 1,700 when I first started. So, and then it's just been mixed in throughout.
That's probably pretty good profit margin too, right?
Yeah, it was. I did get in trouble though, because you need to do tracking when you are shipping stuff, and in Canada, shipping is really expensive. So I was foregoing the tracking to save money. And then they kind of said, hey, you can't sell FBM anymore. So
Dang.
yeah.
Are you still FBM?
No, I put in one of those. I said, like, this is my plan of action, right? Yeah. And then I said, I'm sorry, I'm new. And they're like, okay, yeah, you can sell it again. So I do a little bit of FBM, but it's so expensive here.
So how'd you get 44,000 in sales? You go from thrifting to doing 1,500 in sales or whatever. How do you make the leap to, you're probably spending like 10, 20,000 a month to maintain it, right?
Yeah. So I was this summer, I was doing around 13, 15K spend. Last month, I actually got 3 more credit cards. So I got a 12,500, a 5,000, and a 1,000, and I just maxed them. Instantly just maxed them. Like, that's how I get
advice, guys.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, it's not for everybody, right? But that is how I built my business. When I first started, I did get a $7,000 credit card, and almost everything that I've done has been off that card. I have paid more money in over limit fees than I have in interest. I think I've been hit with it like 8 times this year, just because I spend more than I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
But it all just goes back, right? I'm just,
nice.
pump it. Yeah.
Do the over limit fees, do they affect your credit or no?
I don't think so. I don't see why it would. Right?
Over limit fees or just notifications?
It's over limit fee, so it's $29 every time.
Gotcha.
So I found like a sweet spot with this credit card where I can be like $1,000 over for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But anything over that 3 days, it's like, oh, here's that fee. Mm-hmm. So like on a weekend, I'll still spend it and be like, okay, I got to pay it Monday because payouts are coming pretty much daily, right? So I know how much I can spend.
What kind of profit are you looking at on that 40,000?
I want to say I'm around like 35-40%. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing is 150 to 250% ROI.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the stuff, I'm getting really good deals on the things. I mean, they're out there, right? You just gotta look for them. And if you do, like, your ROIs are crazy. I do retail arbitrage, so that's my big thing.
Walk us through a day in the life. You wake up, you take an ice bath. What's it look like up in Canada? You go shoot a moose. What's the day to day look like for Patty's World?
So I mean, I start the day with my family, right? My 2 daughters, my wife. That is why I got into selling on Amazon. Because
that's why I love your content, man. I love family, because there's so many psychopaths in this business that are just fucking workaholics. But I love seeing people that have their family and they incorporate them in their content, because that's the most inspiring to me. Like, I think that's like the ultimate purpose of life, is to have a family and be a good, parent. And if you can make a living doing it, running a business, I think that's just the most inspiring thing you could do as a man. I feel like, is teach other men how to be financially successful, or just show them that you're doing it, inspire them through your actions, and then also be a good parent at the same time. Like, I just feel like that's like the epitome of, I'm religious, but like of what God would want you to like live on this earth.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we are too. So yeah, I totally agree. Like that's it, right? I never saw them before, and now I get to wake up and have breakfast with them. Like, and it is hard sometimes, right? It's like, yeah, I have to work and I still have to do this, but I do get to see my daughters more. Like, my youngest now looks at me and like knows who I am, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Before
so you wake up, eat cereal with them, then what?
Yeah, we have eggs and toast mostly.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And then from there, like, if I have money, I'm going shopping. That's kind of it right now. So I just got laid off last month, which is kind of a blessing. Yeah. It was unexpected though, so it's a little tough, but like, I guess I'll tell you what I did before while I was working. So I mean, I'd wake up at 5:30, go to work, because I was working like 7 to 7, like 12-hour days. So I'd be up early, drive to work. I'd work on my breaks. I would go to stores if they were close. So I was working it's a little town by me, but they had a Dollarama, which Dollarama was one of my biggest sources. It was my number one up until like the beginning of the month. But I would just go on my break and I would go buy stuff from Dollarama and come back and then go back to work. And I'd usually do that for both of my breaks, right? I'd have all this product, and then I'd come home at night, get it all set up, get it all organized, And then once my tables were full, then I'd kind of create a shipment. It was usually on the weekend that I'd do that. But if I didn't go during the day, or if I had more money, I would be like, hey, I'm working late. And my oldest daughter now would be like, Dada, going shopping? I'm like, yeah, that work, baby. Like shopping work, right? So after work too, getting off at 7, I'd go to Walmart. I'd go to Dollarama. I'd go spend money because like you got to, right?
So what's that process look like for you? Because a lot of booksellers are listening to this. We do have a few retail arbitrage and online arbitrage and wholesale people too, but a lot of booksellers are just used to using Scout IQ and having the app tell you what to purchase. How are you looking up items, and like what part of the store you go into? What are you looking for? What kind of profit? Can you walk us through like that process?
Yeah, for sure. So for books, I'm Goodwill is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Goodwill, it's like $2 books here. They don't organize it, but it's $2 a book. And then Value Village, which is your guys' Savers.
Mm-hmm.
They have better profit books there. They cost more, but the profit's better, right? So I mean, I'm going in books. Because they don't organize it, I'm just scanning everything. So I use my seller app, just my Amazon seller app, the free one. And in Canada, I'm looking for anything under 150,000 sales rank at $5 profit. Any higher sales rank, I need more profit, right? Like I'll buy a 500,000 or a 1 million or even 2 million book. I think we're like 3 times. You guys have like 3 times more listings, just from kind of that's like reference, right?
Gotcha. For sales rank. So like a 1 million sales rank for you would that be right? A 1 or a 3. I'm not doing
your
this
1 million would be my 350K roughly.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So that kind of gives it a little perspective, right? And like, so I'm looking for that, anything over $5, under 150K, because those are going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
If it's $1 or $2 profit, but it's like rank 100, I'll buy it, right? Because I'm already there. I'm buying books. I'm going to send it in. Like I'll just buy it because it's free money. It's already there. If I'm going up, like sales rank wise, I need a lot of profit, right? I don't mind holding a book for a long time if it's gonna make me a ton of money, but that's really all I'm looking for. Like after I've scanned through everything, or if my phone's gonna die, or if the store is gonna close, I'm gonna just search for books that look nichey, right? Like those business books, you look at the side, like ones that look nice and new. That's what I'm looking for. I never touch those like romance, old women books. I don't, because like they print 1 million of them.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, you can't make money off that stuff. But
they're probably the most read books in the world, but they're just not profitable.
That's it, right?
$7.
So many. But yeah, any of those religious books, history books. I've done really good on history books lately. Like that Value Village, there was a history section. I probably took 80% of the books, and they were like $15, $20 profit each book. So it was crazy, but history is a big one now that I'm definitely looking for.
Mm-hmm. And then what about when you go to look at other products? I forget the name of the store you said, but is it similar process? Like, are you going to clearance section?
Yeah. So if I am like in Canada, we don't really have those cool clearance sections you guys have at like your Walmarts. It's more just mixed in or end capped.
Gotcha.
We don't have like a whole aisle. So if I'm going to Walmart, I go straight to the toys, straight to the Lego, check to see if anything's on clearance. They don't always have the clearance, so sometimes it'll just change the price and not color or anything. So I just check the prices, check the end caps. I'll walk through the aisles, just look for the tags. From there, I'm going to video games. So I'm always looking for video games because they sell so good, right? Like Switch games are really good for some reason. And all of last year, I guess all of this year, NBA 2K23 was only $20 here. And it was like the brand new one. And I was selling the Switch one for $75, $79, like so fast, which was, I don't know why. So like, just keep your eyes out for stuff like that. But yeah, video games. From there, I'm going to go to home. I'm going to look at like air filters, stuff like that. I never touch the tools because it's all like branded Walmart stuff. Then I go beauty. I definitely check out, hit the beauty, hit the pharmacy. I don't do grocery. That's the one thing I like haven't touched really any cross, very, very little. But
expiration dates.
Yeah, pretty much everything, man. Like I look for clearance. You get a good idea of like where to look and prices. Like if you go in consistently, right? Like you know what you're looking for. Like you know what sells, you know where they keep those sale stuff. And then another thing is like if you see something on sale one day, just keep checking it because the chances are they'll drop it again. Right? You don't always have to buy the first sale. So there's times where it's actually really good is like Playmobil, and they had these Back to the Future sets and then another set. And they were like $29 and $19, which was really good. It was still profitable. But I'm like, nah, I'm just not going to take it. And then one day I went in and it was at $9.14, and I took every single one. Like every single one, and it was crazy profit. But yeah, I think that was a big thing is just not taking the first deal. I am kind of picky with what I take. I want high ROI because I want to turn over my money. So I'm not like I'll pass 50% ROI stuff all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm like very picky with my stuff. I'm trying to get out of that, and especially now that I have more money.
Well, maybe it's a good thing. It's obviously working out for you. How do you pay yourself? Because you're doing 44,000. You're doing a pretty decent profit margin, but you don't have a job now. So like, how are you paying yourself?
Yeah, so I'm not, and I plan on not doing it or paying myself until probably mid next year. So now, because
like a sales number in your head that you want to like hit and maintain before you start paying yourself.
Yeah, I think I was thinking like 500K a year, because that would give me enough money to live. Because our living expense, like with our house and everything, we're around $5,500 a month. So it's a lot. And if I start taking that profit out now, like my business isn't going to grow, right? Or I grow as fast as I'd like it to.
Right.
So I could pull it out now and live and be okay. But then it's like, I'm just cutting the head off my business. So I'd like to wait a few more months.
Dude, it's pretty crazy. Like, I feel like this isn't really talked much in the Amazon space, but you know, people assume that when you start making 30 or 40,000 profit a month, that you are just like rolling in money. But the truth is, like, once you hit that profit of like 25, 30,000, you could easily just reinvest all of it, and then your bank account can stay at the same balance. Yeah, you have more theoretical inventory valuation, which you do. Like, it's true value. But a lot of people don't talk about that dynamic of if you always reinvest your profit, it feels like you have nothing, you know? Yeah. And you could even be making 60,000 net profit after all Amazon fees, after everything, and you could still feel like, holy shit, where's my money? So like at a certain point in time, this is what the book flipper Caleb Roth talks about. Like you have to put a flag in the sand and say, I'm not going to spend any more this month, and I'm going to maintain my sales. So like 150,000 sales per month. I'm not going to try to scale to 300,000. I'm not going to try to scale to 500,000. I'm just going to stay at 150,000 each month. I'm going to put X amount in my business and pull X amount out, because once you level out and you're spending, let's say 70,000 a month on inventory, and you're making a true 30,000 profit, then you can say, I'm going to pull 8,000 out for myself, and then the rest I'll roll in, and then maybe you can slowly scale to 300K a month. But if you're always going balls to the wall scaling, that's fine if you have the capital or you have the money to pay for yourself. That's 100% fine. But just know that if you're doing this full time and you reinvest everything in your business, you know, you're not going to have anything left over. So I really like what Caleb said. He said the proof that your Amazon business is working is you being able to pull money out and your bank going up. When your bank balance starts going up, that's proof that this whole thing you're doing is actually working. And so if your bank balance isn't going up, it's not technically working yet. You know? And I thought that was like a really interesting angle on it.
Yeah, it's what it is, right? Yeah. Those numbers are like in line with kind of what I'd like to do. If I could take like 25% of it, but I still want to live very minimally. Like I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. Like I'd like to travel with my family, but like, I don't know.
Dude, my living expenses are more than you. Like mine are 8,000 a month with travel. My rent 2,000, car payment, and then I usually get like a plane ticket or two, then hotels. So like I travel a lot. but it comes out to about $8,000 a month. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's the reality. All right. That's my baseline. If you would have told me that years ago that it would, dude, when I first started living in my car 5 years ago, 2018, summer of 2018, I was living in my car, didn't know anything about money. All I'd ever done my whole life was wrestle. And so financially, I mean, I cut grass. I did the kind of stuff I had doggy daycare. Like I made a few $1,000s doing, but I did not know about money. And I remember I watched this video on YouTube of this lady. I used to watch all these van life videos of people doing it. I'm like, how cheap can I live? I wanted to live off like $100 a month, man. And I remember watching this video of this lady out in the desert. She was living in a white van. And she was like 70 years old. I'm like, if this bitch can do it, I can do it too. So, she was like breaking down her expenses, and she was like, yeah, I spend about $250 a month. And I remember thinking, this is a true thought I had. I remember thinking, she's living in a van. Where does she find, how is she spending $250? I was like, that is so much money. In my head, $250 was so much money. I'm like, where is she spending this? And then I lived in my Toyota Corolla shortly after like that summer. Dude, I was spending with inventory costs. I was spending like $1,500, $2,000 a month living out of my car because KFC, Chipotle, I was spending like $300 a week on fast food. I was eating at hotels for free. I would go to Holiday Inn Expresses and Best Western. I would drive up in the morning. I would go in, get the free breakfast. And so I wasn't paying for breakfast. All I was paying for was gas, fast food. When I would get starving, I would just binge eat. Like it was like not anorexia, but it was like me trying to be on such a financial budget to all of a sudden being like, I'm starving, fuck the money situation. And then I would just go to KFC and get like a huge bucket of chicken. And then, but I quickly learned like it is expensive to survive. And I was spending like $1,500 a month living out of my car, just on food, gas, and I was including my inventory costs too. I was buying books for like $1 or $2. But that I quickly learned that like, dude, humans can spend a lot of money. So
yeah, definitely.
But my barometer for like what was normal to spend each month was like my parents, they kind of told me some things about money, but I didn't know that it cost thousands to survive. Like I literally thought like everybody could survive off $1,000 a month. And that's just not true.
No. Well, they don't teach it, man. Like I went to school for finance because like, I don't know. I've always known about money and they do not teach it. So like helping people with money was something I was super passionate about. That's why I think I want to help people with Amazon. Like I really do. My goal is like, if I could take a mom and get her to make an extra $500 because I taught her some stuff. Like I have people that message me and like, they didn't start until I taught them. And now they're like showing me screenshots of 10K. And I'm like, so happy, right? Like it's giving me something because finance sucks. The industry is horrible. Like they don't help people. They want to steal your money. Yeah. I don't want to go work at a bank where I'm going to sell products that the bank wants me to sell. And if I don't, I get fired. So I'm like, went to school for that. And then I'm like, nope, I can't help people. So yeah, like I wish they taught people this stuff, but they don't, and they're never going to, right? So it's sad.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like why I've always had the approach since I've been doing this business where I'm like really open about my numbers and my income and stuff like that. And a lot of people like really aren't, and some people get turned off by it. Like when I post, something about how much money I made last month and they're just like, you're bragging, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just look at it as a matter of fact. Like we're in the industry and like I've wrestled my whole life. And like our goal was always to become a national champion or state champion and like win the day. And in this business, winning is making more money. And we're in this community together. We should be open about how much money we're making and what's working. And so I don't even look at it as like, I think by not talking about it, you are actually giving it more power than it deserves. Like you're putting it on such a high pedestal that, we can't even talk about this thing. I'm actually taking it and I'm pulling it down. I'm like, no, this is just like, this is what you need to survive. This is like what we're striving for. Like the more you make, the better you're doing. But like for me, the top of the top is like, family, love, like how happy are you? Like all these things, how proud of yourself. Money is just like a vehicle. And I look at it as it is literally just a indicator of how much value you're adding to the marketplace. Like how good is your work? Like how good are you at your work? And it's telling you, are you doing the right things or not? And so I think that's at least how I look at it. And that's why I'm so open about sharing, my numbers.
I agree. Like it drives me crazy when people say stuff like, "Oh, anybody can do it." It just goes to show you that anybody can do this. It's not as hard as people make it seem. Like if you can see these numbers, then you can hit them, right? Like you were living in your car. I was working like 60, 70 hours a week, right? Like family out of town, like anybody can do it. I don't like if you don't think that's motivating, I think you're just a lazy person and you won't succeed if you tried, right? Like I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think, that's something else to do with it. Is like I posted when I was like homeless, living in my car, not like a sob story. Like I'm just a weirdo. Like I wanted to live in my car. I wanted to travel the world. Like I've literally had like almost panic attacks thinking, what if I don't travel to every country in the world? I think some people are genetically hardwired to want to travel. And I am. And I'm like, I just need to travel. I'm going to start with my own country and I don't have any money. So I'm going to start here. But my point is like, I started my journey documenting like when I was dead broke, living in my car. And so I feel like that gives me permission now when I do have big wins, and especially in the future, like it's like eventually like I'm going to win the finance game and everyone's going to see it online and I'll never have to work again. And I think it's going to be really inspiring to share that with people. And I've had friends, Caleb Roth, who's already done it. And he's not like, he's a little bit different than me where he doesn't like, not that I brag about it, but I'm going to let the whole fucking world know, hey guys, I never have to work again. I'm fucking done.
Hell yeah, you did the work, man. Like you did that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I worked fucking hard for it and I documented the journey from like day one. And I think that's the most inspiring thing ever. Like when you see somebody truly win the game, because that's what we all want. We all want to win the game to where we never have to work again. We get to choose to work. And if you can do that and you can share it with the world, there's a quote in the Bible. It says, let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. And so if you can do anything, whether it's win a national title in wrestling, whether it's travel the world, whether it's raise a family, whether it's become a millionaire, or just win the financial game, and other men and women see you do that, I don't think there's anything that could be better because you're literally shining your light in a way that gives other people permission to shine theirs or shows them that they can shine theirs,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm on a rant. What's a secret you've learned that's helped you grow your Amazon business?
Oh, geez. I guess being consistent is number one. I think like just consistency, right? Like that, doing that. But like, I guess a secret. What is a secret? Should I share my secrets? I don't know.
Share your secrets, man.
Something that I do that has really helped me is when I do find, it's not like a secret, but it's just like doing the work. Like when I find something that's good somewhere, I drive around to every single location and look for more, right? If it's a Walmart or a dollar store or something, like I don't just stop at the one. I will go and buy a whole bunch. I'll buy like 8. Like I just sent in 80 things of hand lotion, and I had to go to like 20 different stores to get it, but it's super profitable. And I think that's like maybe a secret that people don't do. I don't know. The other stores have the same product, so that's just like this is crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think a lot of Amazon sellers kind of take their foot off the gas when they find something that works. So for example, booksellers in a library sale, I've noticed this almost at every library sale where the library sale is pretty decent. Let's say 5%, 10% acceptance rate. That means for every 10 books you scan, 1 is good. And what they'll do is they'll fill up 2 boxes of books like this, 2 boxes worth of books.
Yeah.
They'll see everyone else leaving and they'll say, oh, everyone else is done with the sale. Therefore, all these books must be bad because if everyone else is leaving, like it's obviously done, and then they'll leave too. And it's mind blowing to me because everybody just decides to leave at the same time, even though all sections haven't been scanned thoroughly, or maybe they've been scanned, but not with your triggers. And maybe your triggers are different than their triggers, or maybe they have a spin limit for the day. They only want to spend $100. And so everybody decides to leave at the same exact time when instead you should actually stay at the sale and scan more books and scan the non-barcode books and ask for backroom access. and see if they're going to bring out new books. Like there's so many more things you can do to milk out like literally $500,000 profit, but they have this mental barrier where it's like, oh, I already made my $750 profit today. That's enough. It's time to go. And it's like, no, make 2,500 profit and stay there for 2 more fucking hours and be greedy. And I think the same thing happens with retail arbitrage or wholesale or anything else. Like people have this like mental block where it's like, oh, I've already made my few thousand in profit. That's all I deserve. I'm done. When the reality is like, I know so many people in this business that when they see something working or a product that's selling good, they turn that fucking dial on 10.
Why?
They start making 60K profit months. They start making 100K profit months. And it just feels like it's absurd money. And it's because they saw the opportunity and they didn't limit themselves and they just cranked that shit up to 10. And I think that's a mental block a lot of people have to get past as an Amazon seller.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand where it comes from. Like,
I kind of understand where it comes from because you know, like when I feel like leaving a sale, if I'm at the library sale and everyone else is leaving, it's like when you're taking a test in high school and everyone gets up to turn their test in, you're like, oh fuck, I should probably be done too. Like you're doing the test, everyone else is up, you're like, oh, I'm the dumbass if I finish late. And I think it's the same thing at a library sale. Everyone's getting up and you're like, oh, like they're all done, like let's go. Or like I think the biggest difference between working a job and an Amazon business is like, let's say a job pays you $70K a year. Your first few years on Amazon, you might make 15,000 profit your first year, 50,000 your next year. Then your third year, you could damn well do 150, 200K. And your fourth year, you could do $500,000 in profit. But I think people are like used to their job salary or whatever. And they're like, oh, like I matched that with Amazon, therefore I should just stay here. What they don't realize is like with business, you can literally 10x, you know, what your income would be, or you can 10x your income from the year before. And I think it's like a mental like safety net where they're just like, oh, like I can't go beyond this. But the reality is like you can go way beyond it.
So weird to me, man. That's like you're not guaranteed that you're gonna find that the next day or right. Like just it's there, do it, right? It's there. You know that this is there and it's working. Like do as much as you humanly possibly can. Get kicked out of the stores. Like have your wife call you and say, we got a flight in 2 hours, leave the book sale. Like that happened to me. Like book sale, man. I was there like all the way and we had a flight. I think it was like 3:00 and I didn't leave till 1.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm buying all of this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Get it while it's there, man.
And the thing is this also, like, don't get down on yourself if you're selling on Amazon and like your first 2 years, you don't make that 6-figure income that you dreamed of, because all the skills and all the experience that you learned, when the opportunity comes across, that is a really good opportunity. You now have the knowledge and insight, and you're going to have this gut feeling, and you're going to know it's good. And hopefully you have a network of people you can be like, hey, is this really a good opportunity? Ask them. But I've already come across 3 or 4 of these opportunities, and I didn't take advantage of them like I should have, but I literally could have made, like, no joke, like 300,000 in 1 month, like net profit. And like those opportunities, like I'm dealing with one right now, and it's like, okay, now I know what this is, and I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be an idiot about it, but I'm going to milk this as much as fucking possible. And more opportunities are gonna come as like years go on. And having that insight and knowledge from the previous years really helps out.
Yeah. I think like look at it as school, right? You go to school for 4 years, you waste how much, right? You didn't get paid to go to school. Here we're going to school to learn how to sell, to build our business. Like make any money, like you're good.
Right.
If you learn for 4 years and break even, and at the end of those 4 years you can come out and crush $1 million in sales, like that's crazy. Like, I always look at business as school. Like anything when I'm starting, right? Like I could be paying to go to school to get a 70K job, or I could be learning and taking losses and making some money and like learning and learning. And like that's you just got to do it and you got to learn it. You got to fail.
And you can't look just at the balance sheet. Like, the profit is very important, but realize like your first few years in business, like that profit might be low. And what you're not realizing is the knowledge you're gaining that's going to help you in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th year that you're just going to fucking hit a home run, you know? So like if you compare apples to oranges and say, oh, if I was working my job for these 3 years, I would have made 210,000 over the course of 3 years at a $70,000 paying job. And then like, you're like, instead I did this Amazon thing and I made 15 grand my first year, 50 grand my second year, and I barely did 100K my third year. I would have made more money, working the job. Well, you're comparing apples to oranges because you don't realize that third, fourth, fifth, and sixth year, you're going to fucking bring in, 300K plus every year because of the knowledge you have,
Yeah. Like the skills and that knowledge is so important, overlooked. Like,
yeah. And so many people don't make it to that third, fourth, and fifth year. And
I know.
so it's such a big barrier to entry that like such a small, like out of all Amazon sellers, probably like only a couple percent make it that far. So when you make it that far, you are just like a savage because you just know so much more and you have so much more experience than everyone else.
Yeah. It's business, right? Like, I don't know, treat it like a business.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, it's not an ATM machine. It's a business. Grow your business.
Yeah. What's a common myth about selling on Amazon?
It's hard. I need to know everything.
Yeah.
I need to know how RA works and OA works. And I need to know what's all this sales rank stuff and wholesale and PL. And you don't need to know shit. You need to take your app and scan something. And then you need to buy it, and then you need to learn how to do it. I have in my garage, I had boxes of books. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Didn't know how to list anything, nothing. I'm like, okay, here's my roadblock. I went to Facebook, found a group. What do I use to do this? They're like, use this software. Got it, did it. And that's it, man. Like, it's not as hard as everyone makes it seem, or you make it seem. Like, as an individual, I think people overcomplicate it and think they need to learn everything, but you don't. You just need to do it. And then as you're doing it, you'll learn. Like, don't worry about anything else besides just getting started. Like, that's the biggest thing. And that's my biggest issue is just, I can't hammer that enough to people. Just do it. Don't go watch another video. Just go buy a book.
Yeah.
Like, learn. Yeah. That's
how has your personal brand helped your Amazon business and just helped you in life in general?
It's definitely kept me consistent.
Yeah.
So like being online and posting and doing all this has kept me super consistent, right? Like it's very easy to have, say, $5,000 worth of inventory sitting in your garage and then being like, oh, well, I'm going to go watch Netflix with my wife after work, right? It's like, oh shit, I told them on Instagram that I'm buying all this, or I just sent a reel. Get in my car. I should probably go do it, right? Like,
that's an interesting benefit of posting on social media.
Yeah, and then like you get those messages from people, and they're like asking you stuff, and they're telling you that like, oh man, because of you, I started, and this is where I'm at now, and you're like, damn, like that's awesome, right? Like it makes me so happy that when people send me that, like they'll just call me randomly now on Instagram, like. My phone will start ringing. I'm like, who is this? And it's like, someone I don't even know in the States. I'm like, oh, hi, what's up? Yeah. And like, I don't know, answer those calls. Some dude just put me onto a website that I didn't even know about. And I've been spending money on it. Like, I don't know, it was like this deal tracker or something. And I got this video game. You could buy 2 at a time, but I just did it like 2 at a time. And it's $13 and it sells for $77. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I bought a shitload because I answered the phone call from some guy.
Yeah.
So, like, that's cool.
Do you network with many Amazon sellers like that in the sense of like sharing leads, or not too much?
No, like not at all. Like I'm in some groups. I've bought 3 courses now. I mainly answer questions. I don't really network much at all. Like I am in Canada. I am RA. So it's kind of, I don't know, like, if that applies to people, like there's a couple people I'll talk to and just kind of a guy in Canada, I'll be like, hey, like this item is really good. You see if you can find it because it's out of stock here. Like there was this bar of soap I was buying for $3 and selling it for $36. And I'm like, hey man, see if you have any of these here. But other than that, no, I like really don't. And I really should, because I think that would be helpful. But
Yeah. It can be. I feel like you have to have like a few people like close friends that you share leads with, because you don't want like a big group of like 20 plus people knowing what you're buying. But having a few people you share leads with, that's helped me a lot.
Yeah. I heard something like the other day, it was if you share your leads, like you're going to get you'll lose 10% of your sales on that lead, but you'll gain that, right? Like in their lead. So
that's an interesting concept. I've thought about that. Like, how much am I losing in sales and how much am I gaining by having their leads too? It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to do it more, but I don't know, as extroverted as I am, I'm kind of introverted. It's weird. I'm like really weird dude. I don't know. I really am. Oh, you knew some of the
weirdest thing about you.
My personality? Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Nobody does. Like,
what? Give us a little rundown on Patty's World personality.
Okay, like even Patty's World, the name started at construction. So there's this guy who's bad with names, and he called me Patty or Patrick one day. So then, as I'm like a weirdo at work, like there's countless, like too many pictures to count of me not with my shirt on at construction, like just like just doing weird stuff. So doing like trying to do trick shots, like all sorts of weird stuff, and then they just like, oh, Patty's World, it's Patty's World, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's me, right? Like high school, I took a kangaroo mascot outfit to school one day, just wore it, and then I became a mascot at our football or our basketball game.
I can see you doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got like, the mascot personality.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, I really do. Yeah. I don't know. I've always just kind of been like a weird, like I'll be quiet at first, but then when I open up, you're like, it's
yeah.
That's
kind of how I am. Where can people find you at?
I'm PattysWorldFBA everywhere. So YouTube, Instagram. I deleted Twitter or X or whatever because I like don't use it.
Yeah.
But then so I don't know. But yeah, Instagram and YouTube are the big ones. PattysWorldFBA.
Awesome. We'll link those below. And thanks so much for coming on, brother.
Dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was fun.
100%. Guys, remember, this podcast is made possible by GoToLister.
The number one thing I love about it most is it helps me list and process my items that much faster. And as you know, if you want to grow your Amazon business, speed is the name of the game. If you're thinking about selling on Amazon or you're already selling and you want to be able to grow your business quicker, definitely check out GoToLister. Appreciate you, Avery, for creating the software, and it's really helping me grow my business. Much love.
And pretty soon, I'm not sure how soon actually, but we'll get it in Canada one of these days. So you'll be able to use it too.
I did get it originally, but then it's like, oh, it's not in Canada. So like, I'm bad at Amazon, dude. Like I suck at it. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing. Like 100%.
Central.
Yeah, like on pretty much everything. Like I don't know how to do a lot of this stuff. I just kind of figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
Right after it works. And like, so that's I'm suck with tech. Like,
yeah. I think, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think GoToLister is really the simplest software that exists out there. Like all these other softwares have so many different, things you can click. And I've taught Amazon for the last like really 3 years now. I've had like a ton of students. I've had students on oxygen, bro. Like literally, like they call me and they have an oxygen mask on. So like they're like 70, 80 years old plus. And that's like when I made the software, I had them in mind. I'm like, let me just make something so stupid simple that anybody can use it without like a tutorial video. Just like log in and it's like so obvious what to do. And that's what we've tried to do. So
which is perfect. People are lazy. People are so lazy. Like if it's easy, like that's what you need.
That's what you need.
I want to use it,
man.
Like it looks so dope.
Yeah, appreciate that. Go follow Patty's World. All of his IG, YouTube, everything will be below. So, thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.